All right, Sunday, July 24th. Part of the greenhouse looks like a jungle in here, right? Gonna do some cleaning out today. So this would-be Krim is coming out. This also would-be Krim, which I think is probably a Lincoln. That one's gonna come out. There's not a lot going on it. The grape tomato, it's about done. I've just been kind of waiting, picking the tomatoes as I need them, but they're starting to shrivel up. This Tammy G grape tomato looks like it's doing pretty good. I need to get a string up and get that. That's a weird sucker because that thing is almost as fat down here as it is at the base there. But anyways, so those two are coming out. I'm gonna pluck this Tesla land currant because it'd be kind of cool, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with these little tiny berries, and the plant is pretty far behind. So it's just kind of sucking up space right now for something I'm not really going to get anything to eat out of it. A little bit, not much. So that frees up 3 spots. The indigo, just waiting for things to get ripe. The midnight snack, they're starting to turn ripe. Probably got a couple of weeks. I mean, some of them have turned. So like these are ready. This big beef, I've got 1, and I'm gonna have maybe 2 or 3. This branch bent a long time ago, so I'm probably gonna pluck this one out. And the chocolate sprinkle, I need to harvest this sucker and try to get it, and I've got one in the house, but it's not doing real well, before I chop this one out. The Scotch bonnet, I need to try one and see how hot the darn things are. The green pepper, I thought I had stringed up well, but they're just getting so heavy it's actually breaking. So there's like 4 or 5 peppers on here, so obviously that broke, so that needs to be taken out. And it needs to be some trimming. I've been lazy and it's been hot. So and then jalapenos, I've just been waiting for them to get big enough, and looks like it probably bent this one branch. They're big enough to pick. I'd like them to get a little bigger, but these are not the megas, so they're not going to be the monster size jalapenos. And then I got to get some string going on this Aurora pepper. But you can see there's some red ones, there's some purple, there's some yellow, and I think there's an orange hiding someplace. That's the sun gold that I cloned. It's starting to take off and catch up. Then I've got this cucumber plant that needs to be taken care of. I've been lazy. It's been hot. Mini tomatoes and mini bell peppers, need to figure out what to do. And there was an extra sun gold. That one's I'm probably gonna 86 that one, because there's no room. Couple more divas, getting them ready to go, so those could get transplanted if I've got time today. And then various tomatoes, but they're at that stage. That's almost 2 weeks, week and a half. So what I did, I tried to rationalize it out to myself. Well, let me back up. So these early dolls, they've given about as much as they're going to give. I'm not sure what to do with them yet. I'm kind of tomatoed out, so I'm debating. I mean, the tops of them are really healthy. I might try to do what they call the drop and lean, so add some more string, drop the plant down, and then let the green kind of hang. We'll see. But so I decided, based on today's July 24th, so we got all of August, all of September, probably most of October, so almost 90 days. Almost nobody has plants. It's the end of the season, right? So, but Lowe's had 0 plants. The local nursery called Green Acres here, 0 plants. Home Depot had all these organics, which are like $6. Then they were on sale for $5. and that's all they had was all organics because nobody bought them. And the plants are pretty horrible. These I had to pick through, and I mean, they're fairly green, they're fairly sturdy. But anyways, they had them for $4.48, and then they actually knocked off 50%. So I paid $13 for 6 plants. So my thought process was, for $13, I can take these established plants, get them zapped into the greenhouse, and be at least a month or month and a half ahead. So we'll see what happens. My only problem I didn't plan on is almost all the perlite. So I'm going to have to try to recycle the perlite out of these, and hopefully have enough to grow in. I mean, it's not a big deal to recycle it. It's just a pain in the butt because you have to pull all the roots out the best you can, clean it out, and blah blah blah. So that's going to be the chore this morning before it gets too hot. It's almost, thermometer's off, but it says close to 100. It's probably 90-ish in here. It's just going to get hotter. It's not going to be too hot today, but it'll still be hot in the greenhouse. So that's the plan, is to gut the land currant, gut the big beef, these 2 so-called crims, and that to start with. Maybe the chocolate sprinkle, because that's not going to give anymore. I mean, it may create a tomato or 2, but I just need to get that sucker off, get that rooted, and hope, because that's the only sucker left on this plant. Yeah, so that's it. Those are my choices. So that's the plan for today. And then look at that. It's been thriving, and then all of a sudden it went and I watered it yesterday. I just didn't get to it today. It wasn't that hot yesterday, so that's kind of weird that that cucumber just went to hell. That's the lemon cucumber, where the cucamelon, the regular cucumber, and the hydroponic cucumber are just doing fine. So that's really weird. So I'm going to have to get in there and try to clean that out. Then plants out here that are going. That big beef is going. The cilantro's been dead. That needs to go. The dill, it's overgrown. That needs to go. Been just letting that strawberry sit there to see if it comes back to life. Behind that is the wasabi green radish. It's not really wasabi, but and that's really about it. The corn's pretty sad. Not all of the ears produced corn inside, if that makes sense, or is it sparse? So, but I did start 10 new plants in what was the rutabaga bucket. Not much else going on outside. Well, I've got like 4 watermelons, so there's one hiding over there, pretty good size. I mean, it's probably a third of what it's gonna get. There's another one right there, and there's a small one over there, and who knows what else is hiding in there. And then the strawberries, these ones haven't died, but they're not producing either. It's just too hot. Other than that, more updates, and I'll get it all spliced together. Alright, so picked a bunch of the early dolls. Those are the ones that were in the front, what used to be here. So I thought I had a big beef, but so they had 2 of these. They call them Best Boys. They are 75 days. So I've got one of those here. I took out the Tessa land currant, trimmed up the other one of this midnight snack that was there. Took out the big beef that only had 1 tomato, rescued the tomato, the other couple that were at the top. Just tossed those, trying to basically cut my loss. It's just really hot. It's 100 today. It's probably 120 here in the greenhouse. The stupid thermometer is probably off, but it's pegged. strung up the bell peppers a little bit, so hopefully those will continue growing well. Some of these are burning because of the heat, and these other ones, these are fine. Some of the stuff I seen on YouTube talks about too much sun, what causes that, but nothing I can do this year. So the bell peppers probably need to go under the shaded part, where the hot peppers don't need to. Jalapenos are doing fine. Strung up these aurora peppers. This is the sun gold clone, like we talked about. And then so I've got 4 of these early girls. Like I said, plants were a little scraggly. Trimmed them up, but got a good deal on them, so we'll see what happens. And these are supposedly like 59 days. So considering we're almost to August, so that gives me all of August, all of September, and most of October. So we'll see what happens and go from there. I mean, figure I'm going to gain a month or a month and a half to start with plants like this versus the ones that are just poking through the dirt right now, right? So we'll see. I mean, for $2 a piece and a little bit of work today, that's really all we've got going on. So got a bunch of Romas still got hanging out. I didn't pick those yet. All those other tomatoes that were up front, those are going to get blended into salsa. And just clipped up the Tammy G is this grape tomato. And that's really all that's going on for updates. I didn't get to water the plants this morning, and the heat is just roaching them terribly. Like, look at this basil, it's all wilty. The carrots have been all wilty. They've been fine all the last month or so. That carrot's keeling over. It'll be fine. I just didn't want to water them midday and then have that 100-degree heat basically just cooks the roots, and then the plant just keels over. And look at that carrot down there is not doing, it's not real happy either. The zucchini, I picked all the zucchini off. It needs a little bit of trimming. It's probably a little dry as well. But there's 2 zucchinis in the front, and you can see, I don't know if you can kind of see, there's a monster hanging out right there, then there's a smaller one. And then, like I said, this cucumber took a hit, so I need to throw in some hydroponic solution and fertilize some of these plants. Oh, look at these radishes. They're just pitiful looking, but you know, give a couple hours, let it cool down a little bit, and I'll get them all watered up and nutrient up, and we'll see what happens. Can actually see a giant regular cucumber. You can see it turning color. It needed to have been picked, but sometimes you can't find them in there. The hydroponic cucumber seems to be doing okay. We'll see what happens. And then, as we've talked about, that's all the cucamelons have just overgrown everything. A couple bell peppers need to get trimmed down there, so maybe I'll tackle those. It's like I said, it's still 100 degrees out, so even though it's shady on this part of the house now, cleaned out those other Tessa land currants, left those orange Russelinis. They were supposed to be bigger tomatoes, but they're only about that big, about the size of a grape tomato. The watermelon plant's doing okay. Like I said, there's a melon hanging out there. Oh, hello, bee. Go away. Go away. And there's a baby watermelon hanging out there. So these are Keystone bell peppers. Got some peppers starting. Need to be trimmed up. I tried to plant some more snap peas. So 2 are transplants out of the 4. I planted like 8 seeds in here, but this is just too hot. They just start to poke through, and then they just keeled right over. So they're not doing too great. And the bitter melon is not doing well, and then I haven't been able to get to the green ones that are in there, or they get all mushy. If I touch that, that'll just fall and it'll just make a mess, so I'm not even going to touch that. Then the green beans, I don't know, something must have got to them. They have this weird, it's not fungusy, the leaves are just weird. So I don't know, something got in there, or they just aren't liking the heat. So there's a bunch of beans need to be picked. So beans look good. I just didn't want to come out here and pick them in 100-degree heat, and then the corn's starting to die off. But there's actually no, it's not even a cob in that one. Same thing with these, they're just drying up, dying off. So I think I've got one up front here. I was hoping it would get a little bigger. Most of the kernels aren't there. I can feel little nubs, and that's it. So these are basically done. They can be chopped up, and like I said, I've got like 10 that I planted, or 15, but these are the only ones that poke through. Isn't that weird? And what's really also weird is there's some bug or something burrowed in there, because those are some weird holes. Anyways, that's the state of affairs as it is. You see a bunch of the lemon cucumbers hanging out in there, so maybe it's a good time to do some trimming, but need to throw it full of water and see how it recovers by tomorrow. I believe all these things will just perk right up like nothing happened. So so there's the big update. Swapped out 6 plants and starting over again.